tapu. Ia ihu te kororia, te honore, te atua, te mana haereria, I heke mai, te maunga tapu, ki te iwi. Nō reira nau mai, hoki mai anō, ki tēnei kaupapa o Kohuiarau. This is chapter 5 of a number of series. And I'm going to talk about the Kohuiarau Flag. And this is the original one from 1861. There were changes prior to that. So, so on the left here, you'll have different flags with different stars: 8-point, 7-point, 6-point, and 5-point. The 8-point star represents Māori sovereign, the Taiopuru, Tiane, and Tianu, female or male issue. 7-pointed star represents the ariki of the Confederation of Chiefs of the United Tribes. The 6-pointed star represents the Awaroa Waka, or the Native Navy, or the Awaroa e Hoia, Native Military, or the Awaroa e Hoia Here Here, the prison officers. And the 5-pointed star is represents ngā hapu o Kohuiarau. Okay, so I'm going to go through a number of the flag colours. The flag colours come from the hokioi. So this is the hokioi bird, which is one of the largest birds around the globe. And this is a picture of the hokioi. It was big enough to actually capture a moa and even human beings. So this is basically the size of what a moa is, and you can imagine how big the hokioi bird is. So the colours, it is the colours of the hokioi that represents the Kohuiarau flag, and those colours are obviously red, white, blue, black, or yellow, gold. And so, prior to the use of conventional flags, Māori used tribal markings in the form of a pou whenua, landmarks, shrouded in ancient rituals and karakia chants performed by tohunga, which were priests. Before 1834, tall poles decorated with feathers marked landing places. The feathers showed which chief guaranteed the safety of any visiting ship. So with the development of international relations instigated through trade and commerce in the mid-1700s between visiting sailors, whalers, traders, and Māori, the necessity for Māori to be recognised by other sovereign nations around the world. And this was really inevitable. So Kohuiarau ships carried the flag with the colours, and by 1831, trade relations between New Zealand and England was well established. After a British admiral stationed in the West Indies confiscated a Kohuiarau ship because it was not recognised for its colours, King William IV requested from a visiting entourage of chiefs in 1832, granted the native people of New Zealand the right to a flag that was recognised by all Far East naval establishments and the flag of the sovereign state, this allowing Māori-owned ships to trade and have free access to British ports worldwide under the protection of the King Henry VIII Herbalist Charter. Okay, so I'm going to talk now about the different types of flags that was basically, this is the original one. But prior to that, we had other flags. And this flag here was also suggested, but it Taranaki Māori requested that they have input into the design of the flag. In 1861, the black border was replaced by a white border, indicating the white feathers, te raukura, worn by Taranaki. Now, there was also other flags. I'll just go to this one here. So this is a flag that was also suggested by England. The red St. George cross on a white-black ground. The top left was the red St. George cross, but there also was a gold insignia with the letters W, William the Fourth, R in the centre, with the words Te Unanga Kohuiarau 1834. And I'll just go to that just to bring that up. However, the flag was not accepted by the Ariki of Kohuiarau because King William's insignia was placed on top of the black, which was interpreted as the crown of England, placing its mana on the Māori nation. Sorry, I'll just go back to that one, like that. So there we have it in terms of the flags. One of the things I wanted to bring your notice to as well, and I'll see if I've got it on here. Hang on a second. So I just wanted to give a bit more clarification around the acknowledgement of the flag. Firstly, it was a sovereign flag, or a Māori sovereign flag, and it was also related to the colours of the eagle. And also there are other flags which I haven't put up yet, but one of the things that it did was it was recognised by other nations. Now, you've heard of the GATT Treaty. Now, there are two. There's the GATT Treaty, which is the General Agreement on Trade, and there is the GATT, which is GATT, General Agreement of Trade and Tariffs. So, James Ready Clendon, who was a ship owner, merchant, and consul and magistrate. Now, this was in 1832, President Andrew Jackson, President Andrew Jackson of the USA appointed James R. Clendon to sign a GATT treaty, that's the GAT, with the Māori nation of New Zealand, Kohuiarau, on behalf of the USA. It was approved by the US Senate and protected by the First Amendment of the US Constitution and cemented by the gifting of the US flag. On the 12th of October 1838, Clendon was empowered by the President, Martin Van Buren, and the US Senate to act as the US consul to deal with the Māori nation, Kohuiarau, in matters of trade with the GATT Treaty. Between 1839 and 1851, Clendon recorded 151 American ships having arrived and completed reciprocal trade under GATT Treaty. All these ships were registered with the Māori nation Kohuiarau. In 1882, President Chester A. Arthur of the USA gifted a further flag to reinforce the GATT Treaty with the Māori nation Kohuiarau of New Zealand. And then between 1906 and 1908, Sir Maui Pomare was appointed ambassador for Kohuiarau and the Pacific Island states of the USA. His residence was situated in Miami Palace Mansion on the Dauphin of France. He was often a guest of President Theodore Roosevelt at the White House. Now, just a little bit more explanation about the GATT Treaty. So, the seal, this is the first one, GAT, was a trade seal throughout the world. This was handed down from Alexander the Great to Cleopatra, Queen of Egypt. Under this seal, countries could trade freely. It has been handed down to the Māori through whakapapa lineage, which is direct. The seal is as big as a 5-cent coin, and on one side it has Cleopatra's cat, and on the other it has her headdress wear. This seal is quite different as I mentioned, from the GATT, G-A-A-T, General Agreement, Trade and Tariffs, where they incur taxes. There was a big difference between GATT, the GAT, based upon free trade through treaties, because the current GATT is based on business terms and taxes to suit a business world. Nō reira I tēnei wā, ko mutu te kōrero. It's a short, brief excerpt of the history of Kohuiarau, trade, sovereignty, and look forward to our next coverage, which is chapter 6. Kia ora.